ABC, what's going on? I'm Brian, and I'm back for my third vinyl community video. So if you've seen any of my others, thanks for watching those. Um, Today, I'm gonna do my first vinyl finds video. I've been looking forward to doing this for a while. My favorite videos of your guys are when you do your vinyl finds, because I get to know what you guys are about, and I love to get turned on to new stuff, and you guys have been showing me new stuff. I'm hoping to maybe show you guys some things that I've been looking for. Um, you know, First off, I'm not drinking beer today. Usually I am, but it's only 9 o'clock here in Maine, so I am drinking my coffee right now. I'm on vacation, last day of my vacation. So I've had a fun week. I started off last weekend cleaning out my basement, and I pulled together a box of CDs that I wanted to go trade in, get either some credit or cash to turn into vinyl. So basically, I pulled some stuff together, and I brought it down to Bull Moose, and I ended up getting $100 in cash, which I was pretty excited about because I knew I was going to be going to Boston this past weekend, and I knew I'd be going record shopping there, and I was going to a show on Saturday night, so I wanted some extra cash. So I'm just turning CDs into records. So the stuff that I'm selling is just stuff I don't listen to anymore. And basically I'm selling stuff that I already have on vinyl. So I once I get it into my computer and download the CD, and if I own it on vinyl, I'm just gonna get rid of those CDs unless they're like things I just don't think I'll ever see again, because you get those rare CDs. So anyway, enough about CDs. I went to the shop to trade in my stuff, and as I was in there, if you guys don't know, Bull Moose doesn't really sell used vinyl. A couple of them sell used vinyl, but most of them just sell new stuff. But the cool thing is that they do clearance. So as I was in there selling the CDs, I was able to find Lucero. Lucero is this is actually a box. It's a 4 LP box of live material recorded in Atlanta. Lucero is a band from Memphis, Tennessee, and they're like a alt country punk band. I kind of like to call it cowpunk. They kind of remind me of the Gaslight Anthem. If anybody knows the Gaslight Anthem from Jersey, it's their counterpart from Memphis, I guess. I don't know. They rock. They have horns on here. They got piano. They kill it. If you like the old 97s, it's a little bit like that. But these guys have been around for a while. This is the first one I have on vinyl, and I got it really cheap. Like I said, they have their clearance bins, and it was originally like a $40 box. I ended up paying $7 for it. So I was really excited to pick this up. I forgot to mention what I'm listening to right now is this record right here. This is Barrence Whitfield and the Savages. Unlike this really funny, cheesy cover Barrence has here, looks like a 80s hip hop. He looks like something out of like the Fat Boys or something right here. But Barrence, if you can hear this, hear that piano going right now. straight up rock and roll. Old style rock and roll. Little Richard, he's soul. He's a screamer. This guy, they're based out of Boston. This was actually from '83, I believe, '87. This is pressed on Rounder Records. But I mean, just listen to this stuff. I mean, really, really good. Bluesy, soulful, rock and roll, just straight up rock and roll. So he's actually now on Bloodshot Records out of Chicago. But Barrence is a really cool guy. I believe he might be from like Lowell, Massachusetts. He actually works at a record shop. I'm not going to tell you where, but I know he was working at a record shop somewhere in New England. But he's a cool guy, and his band is intense if you like old school rock and roll. So it's the real deal. Check him out. I picked that up at Newberry Comics for $3 this weekend, so I was pumped because it's one of the few that I didn't have by Barrence. So like I said, I was on vacation all week. So well, first off, I'm gonna tell you, I got a lot of records this week. I think I got like 20-ish records this week, so I think I'm gonna do a two-parter because this would be a really long video because you guys know I ramble. So on like Wednesday of last week, I went out thrifting with a good friend of mine, Tony. Tony is he owns an antique shop locally, little antique mall. So I go to his shop and look for records there, and he and I like to go out looking for records. I look for records, he looks for antiques, so we have that common bond, you know. We're both big in the junk. We like looking through the junk to find our gems. So Tony and I went out this week and hit some thrift stores, some Goodwills, and a couple record shops in Portland. So I didn't find much. I didn't find anything at the thrift stores, but I was able to find at one of the record shops this John Hiatt record that I've been wanting. I'm not overly familiar with John Hiatt's overall collection, but I'm familiar with this record and one or two of his others, and I just need to get more into him. I love he's a singer-songwriter. He always has good musicians playing with him. I forget who was on. I think Sonny Landreth is playing guitar on this record. The other record that I absolutely love, and I can't think of the name of it. It's got Have a Little Faith on it, and I can't think of the name of the record off the top of my head. But Ry Cooder played guitar on that record, and John Hiatt, really good stuff. Check him out if you're unfamiliar. Another find that I found that day, I only found 2 records that day. I didn't have a great day, but I had a really fun day hanging out. But the other record I found that day, which I'd seen in the VC a couple times recently, and I was like, crap, I don't have that. I need that. The Golden Palominos. I'm not going to talk a lot about it just because I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I've seen it in the VC a couple times within the last couple weeks. It's kind of like a little super group, but my thing, I wanted it because Michael Stipe does lead vocals on this record, and I'm a big REM guy, and I didn't have this. There's another thing that I need, and if any of you guys can help me out, I am looking for a copy of Hindu Love Gods. It's not Michael Stipe, but it is REM with Warren Zevon on lead vocal. And I used to have the CD, and somebody stole it from me a long time ago. but I'm looking for a copy of that on vinyl. So if anybody has one and they want to get rid of it, shoot me a comment and maybe we can talk. But anyway, Golden Palominos, Mike Stipe does vocals on like 4 of the tracks, so to me it was kind of essential. So that was my day going into the record shops in Portland, Maine. And now the next little portion of finds are going to be from when I went to Boston. My best friend lives in Franklin, Massachusetts, which is kind of near like Gillette Stadium. So I went out to his place, and as soon as I got there, he had something there for me, a gift. Nickel Creek, a dotted line. Nickel Creek is a newer bluegrass band. They used to be on Sugar Hill Records. This one is now on None Such. Fantastic stuff. Sarah Watkins and Sean Watkins, brother and sister, with Chris Thiele. Chris is like the best mandolin player on the planet. If you like mandolin, you like bluegrass, folk, this is a really enjoyable record. I've only heard it once. I spun it yesterday when I got home. But it's really cool stuff. They do a couple instrumental jams on here. I love Sarah's voice, and she's really cool. She's a fantastic musician. You can find her on just so many different artist stuff that I enjoy. I actually had a chance to meet Sarah when she was touring with the Decemberists. She toured with them. She basically did on the King is Dead tour. She did all of Gillian Welch's stuff because Gillian couldn't tour with them. So Sarah hopped on board with the Decemberists, and I got to meet her at an in-store. They did an in-store performance at Bull Moose when I was working there, and she was really cool. And one of the coolest things I thought about Sarah was that I saw her having a conversation with a little girl there, which I just thought was really awesome. That the girl was, I don't know, probably like 8 years old, and they were talking about how she was in dance and stuff, and I just thought that was really cool when I see artists talking to the kids and having an interest in the kids that are there. So really cool. So thank you, Mike, for that gift. I brought him a gift as well. I brought him an old 97's record, so I hope he enjoys that. I had a one of the limited, they did a limited 500 press of All Messed Up, or most Messed Up, I think it was called. But they did a indie exclusive 500 press hand signed thing that I picked up for him. So I hope he enjoys that. So later that evening, he's got a couple kids. Once he got his kids to bed, we were like, hey, let's go outside, or let's go out to the record shop and do some digging. So I was able to find a couple records there that night. The first one I found was just a 99-cent copy, but it was something I didn't have, of Robbie Robertson from the band. One of his solo releases. I'll be honest, I've never heard this. I see it all the time. I'm a huge band fan. I really don't have much to say, except I see this all the time, and I've never seen, I mean, this is a really clean copy. The corners are a little messed up, but it was $1. But it's the disc looks really good. I've heard decent things about this, and for $1, I'm gonna pick up Robbie Robertson. Okay. The next record I found I was really excited about. Guitar player. I used to really be into this guy when I was a kid. When I was playing my guitar all the time. I don't play my guitar anymore. I'm a bad person. But I really need to start doing that again. But when I was a kid, I listened to this guy all the time, and I didn't have this on vinyl. I'm really excited to have this on vinyl, but I found Joe Satriani, Flying in a Blue Dream. I remember when this first came out, I had this on cassette and CD. But the thing about this record when it first came out was weird because Joe did vocals on this, and prior to this record he never did any vocals. All of his stuff was instrumental guitar work. But I don't pick up a lot of I guess you could say this is like hard rock. I don't want to say metal, but I don't pick up a lot of that stuff anymore. And I am starting to kind of look for some of the like 80s metal and hard rock stuff that I used to enjoy. So I want to start searching for some of that because it is a part of my childhood, and there's quite a bit that I don't have. I don't need a ton of it, but there are select records that I definitely want. And this is one of them, and I just always love that song, I Believe. I just love that song. So I will be very happy to put this into my collection. And then my favorite find of the night was a record that I didn't know existed. So whenever I find something that I don't really know about, that I've never seen, I get really excited, and I found a copy of them. This copy is a compilation from 1984, and I don't own everything by them. So, and I know I told you guys a while, well, not a while, 2 weeks ago in my first video, that Van Morrison is like my favorite artist. So I'm always on the hunt for Van Morrison stuff. I'm always on the hunt for, you know, his stuff with them. And there's like 2 or 3 tracks on this that I didn't own. So, you know, I needed to pick this up. I think I paid like $17 or $18 for this. Well worth it for me to pick up those few songs that I didn't have by Van. So I was spinning it yesterday, and awesome. I just love them. I love Van. That early stuff just rules. So I think I'm going to cut this one right now because I'm at 18 minutes, and I am going to do a part 2 right now. So hopefully you guys will be interested enough, because in this next part 2, I am going to show, and I can't believe I found this, but this past weekend I found my most wanted record, my grail of grails, the holiest of the holy. I found it. I never thought I would see this record, and I found it, and I was shaking, and I was screaming in the store, and I'm going to show it in my next video. So stay tuned. I hope you liked listening to Barrence. Check that out, and I'll be back in a few. Peace. Cheers.